This is Welsh ASMR 82. How you doing? I thought I'd share with you something really fun that I did, because recently I did my DNA, because it's something I've wondered about for years. So I'm going to tell you a little story about that today in the form of an ASMR ramble, because I haven't done a ramble in absolutely ages, and it's one of the things I really sort of did a lot on this channel before, but I do a lot more maps now. But yeah, so let's do a little video about, so I'm not being sponsored or anything, I just chose to do my heritage DNA. And what happens is they give you a little pack, and inside the pack is I'll show you. Inside the pack, there's nothing in there right now, was a swab and a sort of container with liquid in it for you to put the swab in, and then you sent it off to this address in like Dallas in America, Dallas, Texas maybe, I don't know. You've seen that video on my USA, I don't know where anything is. Yeah, so there are a couple of things, right? So I was thinking that I'd have some sort of funny results, and so I had an idea in my head about what it was going to be. So I know, and those who know me, and obviously my channel's name is Welsh ASMR 82. So I'm really a proud Welshman, and I knew that I was, both my parents, their family was very Welsh. They'd sort of, their grandparents and their parents all grew up in Wales. And I know I had some Irish in my mother's side of the family. I think it was my great grandfather who was Irish. So I thought, well, I'll be predominantly Celt, which is cool. But then I wonder about one or two other little things. And one or two things happened. So some people think, you can't really see it with my glasses on, but some people think because of the shape of my eyes that I'm sort of Asian sometimes. It's come up in conversation once or twice. Probably it's very, very subtle, and it only really happens in sort of situations where I'm like laughing or smiling or something, and I'm, I don't know. So yeah, one or two people asked whether I was as an Asian parent or something, and I thought nothing of it. And then one day I was having my hair cut by someone new, or by this newer person who'd cut my hair maybe once or twice before, and I said to him, yeah, because my mum was a hairdresser, so I know a couple of the things I've got. I've got a half crown, and I've got a cow's leg at the front. And basically what that means is my hair sticks up in a crazy direction at the back, and I can't do anything with the front of it. Just, this is it. Or spikes. And I did spikes until I was about 20 something. Yeah, So I said, oh, yeah, before you cut my hair. And he said, no, I remember you. I was like, oh, that's nice. He said, I just cut your hair as if you were Chinese. And so it made me really think about how two completely different situations. Both people thought that on one hand I've got sort of Asian eyes, and someone else said I had an Asian hair. And it is quite sort of, I have to put a lot of product into it to get it to do anything. It just grows out. And it is kind of reminiscent of, it's not the same colour. I was very blonde as a child, but so yeah, I was talking to people about it. I thought, I need to get this test done. I want to find out. And incidentally, if you didn't know, I learned Chinese as well. I learned it really, really quickly. And yeah, I was really interested. I thought, oh, I love going to China. I love Chinese, and I love Chinese food. So I wonder if there's something there. And I thought at the very least I'll be related in some way to Genghis Khan, who came over from Mongolia with the Great Horde, the Golden Horde, and invaded most of Central Asia and Central Europe as well, actually. So, and was famed to most people in Europe are related to him because he had so many affairs. Something ridiculous, like a different woman every night. So, I thought that'll be it. And so I did the test. And I had it as a gift for Christmas, and I sent it off. And I think quite a few people have it as a gift for Christmas because it took a while to come back. Maybe 2 or 3 months. And I subsequently bought this as a present for someone else, and it came back within a month, so I know that Christmas was a particularly busy time. So the results came in, and you get a little email every time it goes to the next stage, and it sort of says things like, we've received it. So you got this app, and you sort the app up before you send it off. There's a code inside, and you set up the app, and then so you can track your things, your swab. And it was sort of saying processing this bit, processing 50% done, 60% done, 70% done. And then it was a Sunday evening, so poor people probably working on the weekend. I got this email through saying your results are in. So just got in the door. We've been out, maybe for some food or something. And I said, oh my god, I've got it, the results. I've got the results. So I sat down, I didn't share them with anyone to begin with. And I was really, really shocked because my results are, as I've learned from buying it from someone else and seeing their results, my results are actually crazy. So, as you guessed, I'm 0% Chinese. But it was really, really interesting. So there were a couple of things that bugged me about it, and I'm going to use a different one. This is the part where the person watching thinking, oh, I'll sponsor him, and then they go, oh no, I won't. So there were 1 or 2 things about it that really bugged me. So it just said, oh, you're 49% Celtic, Scottish, Irish, Welsh. So it didn't say what percentage Irish I was, which I was curious about. And then it said you're like 40% English, or 41 or something. And I thought, well, English isn't really an ethnicity as such. You know, you're either French or Scandinavian or Anglo-Saxon, you know, Germanic in some way. So I was expecting to have maybe a bit of Dutch because of my height. or Swedish or something, or at the very least German, but it doesn't really go into that at all. It just said English, and so that's the bit I was a bit bugged about. And then it said now the maths isn't going to add up, so I do apologise, but it was something like 40-40, much more Welsh than English. So I'm very pleased about that, because that was an ongoing joke that I was going to be more English than Welsh or something, and I'd be really upset. So yeah, it was something like 7.5% Eastern European, but they give it this map, and it sort of does this circle over the area. And when I said Eastern European, it wasn't joking. It basically filled in. It went from everywhere from about Stockholm to Kiev. It was just like you were from somewhere around here. So that kind of bugged me, but it does explain a lot of things. It went into Russia, which again, tries to explain the sort of why I'm quite tall, and one or two things about me. And, Hungary was in there, so my whole theory about the whole Mongolian Chinese thing isn't completely dead yet. Just hoping. But then it got even weirder. So then I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be really cool if I found out I was like Jewish or something? Or, I don't know, anything. And then it said I was 1.2% from Northern Africa. So I said I was, and it sort of coloured in from Morocco to Egypt, and said I was 1.2% North African. Which I just not even, look how pale I am, it's ridiculous. So I just didn't even think about that. And then, when I scrolled down even further, it said 1%. Now, like I say, at the time I kind of took it for granted, but since I've seen other people's now, I realise that theirs isn't as crazy as mine at all. But then it said I was 1% Nigerian. So, yeah, my lineage and my DNA has got a little bit of Africa still in there. Because, of course, then I started lots of interesting conversations with friends about the cradle of life and human beings coming from Africa. And so it does seem that that's still in my DNA quite prevalently, albeit, just 1%. But the other people didn't have that 1%. So yeah, 1% Nigerian. But specifically, this is the thing that was crazy. So it said 7.5% or whatever, Eastern European, massive. They didn't say sort of West African. Didn't say Cameroonian or maybe a bit of Ghanaian or, it just said Nigeria. And then 1.2% North African. So it was, Morocco, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and Egypt. So the reason it was in my mind is because I've started doing a lot more Arabic recently. And I kind of feel like I want to learn a lot more Arabic and visit some of these countries, because I've never been to Africa. I've been to Asia loads, and I've been to the States, and I've been to many countries in Europe, but I've never been to Africa. I meant to go to Morocco when I lived in Spain, and at the last minute I changed my mind and didn't go. So it's a massive sort of surprise for me and obviously my family, because I shared it with them and said that theirs might be similar. So we're thinking of giving it to them, and they can sort of have a go and see if it comes out the same. And I'm thinking about doing a different one as well. But the one I did was my ancestry, I think. My heritage DNA. So that's the one I did, and I just got it off Amazon. Well, this Christmas, but the one before, I think. Was it this Christmas? Oh my god, was it this Christmas? This has been such a long year already. I think it was the last one. But yeah, it's sort of been on my mind recently because I'm doing Arabic again. And I've really got incentive to crack on and try and nail it this time. Hence the video the other day with the Arabic phrases. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this little crazy ramble. If you're new to the channel, then do me a favour and click subscribe. And I'd love this video to get about 20-25 likes. That would be amazing. So if you could press like for me, then that would be super. Thank you. And I hope that you enjoyed the ramble, because I haven't done one in ages. And leave me a comment, because I love them. Catch me on Twitter. I'm on there fairly regularly. Instagram, same too. And check out Tingle's app to watch my videos on there, as well as YouTube. And if you want to support me on that platform, you get extra videos, as you do on Patreon. And I use Patreon I'm trying to update it quite a lot. So if you support me on Patreon, that would be amazing. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go now. And I hope you're fast asleep. And if not, then check out one of my other videos and maybe use that to fall asleep. Okay, see you soon.